Hello, and welcome to Focus on Hope. My name is Eve Moffat, and we have a guest today, Amber and Laura. They are from the Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center. Tell us about the Day Center, Laura.
Okay. Well, the Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center is part of a bigger organization called Adult Care Services. Adult Care Services has been providing services in the Quad City areas for over 30 years. Recently, the Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center opened in Cottonwood earlier this year. We have 3 day centers, of course, the one in Cottonwood. We also have a location in Prescott Valley and in Prescott. And we have a residential community in Prescott called the Margaret T. Morris Center that serves people that have dementia.
Oh, now you head up the Cottonwood.
Yes, I am the director of our Cottonwood location, and we opened on March 31st, so we've been open around 7 months now.
A new facility.
We remodeled an existing facility that pre-existed there, and that's where we're at.
Okay. Who served? Who do you serve?
We serve several different client bases. We serve individuals who have disabilities. We are a medical model, and we're adults 18 and older.
We also serve people that are facing a variety of different diagnoses, like dementia, Parkinson's, someone may be recovering from a stroke. Someone may just be lonely at their home and need a place to come for socialization and perhaps health monitoring, good nutrition, those types of things.
Yeah. Now, who are your clients?
Our client base is very wide. We service veterans, we service developmentally disabled, elderly individuals.
I would also say our clients are the families that we serve. So we provide services at the day center for our participants, but we also look at the families of those participants as our clients as well and try to meet their needs as well.
Yeah. Tell me about the people. Tell me about the people you serve, and what's a typical day like?
A typical day in the life of a Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center participant. So most of our participants arrive at the day center in the morning. We are open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. So they will join us in the morning and have breakfast and perhaps socialization with their fellow participants. We do start programming about 10 o'clock in the morning. At that time, we have a time of orientation for our participants where we might speak to the date, the weather, what's on the day's agenda, what are we having for lunch, upcoming activities, and those types of things. At about 10:15, we break up into groups, and each center is ran a little bit differently. However, they're all very similar. So a participant may have anywhere from 2, 3, maybe 4 different activities to choose from for the morning session. And then that might be bingo or bunco, different games of luck. We also do active games like bowling, shuffleboard, horseshoes, darts, ladder ball. We'll do games that people need to use their thought processes for, maybe Scrabble or more challenging card games, trivia, those types of things. We are also very fortunate to have horticultural therapists on staff. Although in Cottonwood they don't have a horticultural therapist on staff yet, they do horticultural activities there as well, so plant-based programming. We have a musical therapist. In Cottonwood they actually have a music therapist on staff, Shelley. And then at the other day centers we have music therapists that come in once a month. We have entertainers that come in, volunteer entertainers that come in and provide entertainment for our participants as well. So those are some of the activities we do. After our morning session, we have a daily exercise program called Sittercise. The different centers may offer different programs, exercise programs at different times. Then we have a very healthy, hearty lunch for our participants. Oftentimes, the meal that the participant enjoys at the day center is their main meal of the day. Okay? So we try to make that meal a hot meal that's hearty and will sustain them through the day. I mean, of course, they'll have a meal at home, but it may not be their main meal like the one they have at the day center.
Yeah.
After lunch, generally we have a little bit of quiet time, and then about 1 o'clock we go into our second activity session of the day. And again, they have a choice of different activities they may choose to participate in. We are about choice. We don't really twist anybody's arm to participate in anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes a participant may not want to engage in that a particular activity. So we have a lot of independent activities for participants to engage in as well. That might be computer. They might get on the computer. They might want to work a puzzle. They might want to play a video game. They might want to just sit down with another participant and have a chat. So they don't necessarily need to participate in our activities that we have scheduled for the day. Okay? And then typically we end every day with a thought-provoking activity. It might be trivia, it might be some sort of word game, something like that, so that the participant is using their thought processes before they go home. And then they get on the van and head home.
Wow.
And enjoy their families in the evening.
And to share a little bit of that difference in the structure of our days, we do our exercises in the mornings. It's one of the first things that we do. We are fortunate that our activity director does provide music therapy, so we do a lot of sing-alongs. She plays piano, guitar, and we have that available to us. In addition to that, we have a chef in our building, and he also does cooking classes with individuals.
Wow.
And talks about the smell of the food and the history behind it and bringing back the memory and getting people involved and moving their hands and really participating in that. So a lot of similar things, but a little bit different structure depending on the day center that you're attending.
Yes. Now you said you're open from 8 to 4.
Correct.
What if somebody doesn't want to be there 8 to 4? Do you have a
We
after
have
services?
several individuals who attend less than that. It's really our 8 to 4 is just the hours that we're open. We do provide transportation at the beginning and end of the day. So if you're utilizing our transportation, you would be there for a majority of the day. But we do have individuals who come in for just a portion of their day. Their family will drop them off. They'll stay 2 to 4 hours, and then their family members will come pick them up. And we also have made arrangements for individuals where either we pick them up and their family will just come pick them up when they're ready after 4 hours, or maybe they'll get dropped off, and at the end of the day, we'll give them a ride home, so that way the family isn't making 2 trips.
Oh, that's good. Now, how much do these services cost, Laura?
The services are, because we are a medical model of a day program, we have nurses on staff, we provide meals, we have certified caregivers on staff. We can provide a higher level of care than what you would expect at a senior center. So the services for a full day would be $75 per day. And we do have a half-day rate, which would be for 4 hours or less, and that would be $62. We have contracts with several different agencies, including the Veterans Administration, the Division of Developmental Disabilities, Northern Arizona Council of Governments, and the Arizona Long-Term Care System. Now, if a participant falls under the funding of one of those programs, they are fortunate enough to receive funding from them as well, and they generally won't have to pay other than a very small share of cost in some situations. We also work really hard at trying to get donations for our scholarship funding, because for some participants that $75 may be little more than what they can afford in their budget. So we look to offer some scholarship funding to match perhaps something that they could pay.
That's good.
So I would encourage anyone not to let the cost of the program scare them away from inquiring about the program, that they always inquire with us and we can see if they can qualify for any one of those funding opportunities.
Is there an age limit?
No.
Tell me about the Cottonwood Center.
With our Cottonwood Center, as far as it's concerned with ages and the variety, my youngest participant is 18 and my oldest is 99.
Oh, wow.
So we have a very wide variety of individuals with disabilities, and it seems to work really well for us. We're not all separated. We all stay in a group together. We all participate together. We might plan our programming to offer something that might be more suitable or just of more interest to our younger generation than the older population. Our younger generation loves to be on the computer, for example, and our older population does not. So
Yeah.
we have options for them, but a very wide variety of the type of participants that we have.
Yeah. Now, tell me about GARP.
CARF.
CARF.
CARF. CARF is the golden standard of accreditation for adult day centers. It is a international international accreditation. Our Margaret T. Morris Center, the residential community in Prescott, has gone through the CARF process and has been accredited for, I believe it's about 12 years. The day centers in Prescott and Prescott Valley recently went through that process earlier this year, and both centers received the highest level of accreditation for 3 years. There are approximately 1,500 standards that we have to meet to get that accreditation. So we prepared for that for quite some time, and we are very excited to talk about CARF accreditation, and we are very blessed to have that accreditation as well. We worked really hard for that. Cottonwood, unfortunately, wasn't up and running when we went through the accreditation process this last time. However, we look forward to having them join us. I believe we'll go through that process again in about 3 years, and Cottonwood will be on board, and they will also get their CARF accreditation.
Now, Susan J. Rheem was your founder.
Yes.
Tell me about her.
So Susan was an incredible visionary. She had a heart to really care for people, and she just loved people. And she started a day program in the basement of a church over 30 years ago. And that has just grown to what we are today with 3-day programs and a residential community. So we are very fortunate. I feel very blessed to work for the Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center that she founded.
Yeah. What led you to this type of work?
Do you want?
Well, my background is in nursing. I am a registered nurse. I do have my master's degree in nursing, and I've been a nurse for just over 4 years. My background is in geriatrics. I had a calling to become a geriatric nurse from some experiences with my grandma. So I went to nursing school and went right into the nursing home and was very happy to do so. I was very fortunate to come to the Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center and become the director of our Cottonwood location from that experience. And it has been just a very different dynamic and environment to work in. Individuals at the day center really want to be there, and we're an in-between space. We're the part where people go before they go to a nursing home, and part of our goals are to help prevent them from entering into a nursing home by providing services to them to keep them stimulated and functioning at a higher level, and also providing that respite to their caregivers that allows them to keep them at home longer. And so it's just a very inspirational place to be and to be a part of. It's a great organization.
I am also a nurse, and I was fortunate to learn about the Susan J. Rheem Adult Day Center about 7.5 years ago, and I came on board as the nurse and then transitioned into the director's role about 4 years ago. And I too had some incredible experiences with my grandmother, and I felt led to working with the geriatric population as a nurse as well.
What is respite?
Respite is a opportunity for caregivers to have a break. So one of the things that we find with family caregivers is that they can become very overwhelmed, and you may have heard a term called caregiver burnout, and that's just a symptom of someone who's caring for a loved one and they're just getting very overwhelmed. And so we offer respite for families who are providing care for their loved ones so that they can have a break. We strongly believe that in order for a family caregiver to provide the best quality care to their loved one, they have to be well themselves. They have to have physical and mental wellness. And we offer time for them to gain that physical and mental wellness.
Yes. Tell me about some stories.
You know, some of the stories that stand out to me in my mind, especially regarding the caregivers, we had a participant and their family member come in, and you could see that he was very overwhelmed and frustrated. His mother had dementia, and you could see that there was just caregiver burnout. He was tired and was short and maybe not as patient as he could have been with his mom. And he signed her up. You know, she was going to come maybe twice a week. And by the end of a month, she was coming every single day. And when I saw him that next time, he just seemed like a weight had been lifted off of his shoulders. He just was so much calmer with her, more patient to her needs. And you can just see the difference it had made in his life as a caregiver. On the level of our participants and the difference it makes in the quality of their lives, we have individuals who start coming maybe twice a week and end up coming every day because it provides them a purpose. Their family members will tell me that they have a reason to get up in the morning and to get dressed.
Yes.
They're not just sitting at home anymore. And, you know, we have with our younger population individuals who would, again, just be at home if they weren't at our day center. And now they're helping other members, the younger population, helping the older population move from one end of the room to the other, just walking by their side, having a conversation with them. We have a participant who we call her our participant liaison, and it makes her feel important. So she puts the name tags on individuals and takes them off at the end of the day. She helps the nurse when she can, checks the temperature inside the fridge. She clears tables and finds purpose with herself and comes every day looking forward to having something to do and, you know, feeling like she's making a difference in these other people's lives as well when she's attending the program herself is just an amazing thing to see.
Yes, that sounds amazing.
Yes.
It is truly amazing. One of my favorite stories that I like to share is at the day center, we provide services to people who may have been facing their challenge, that whatever it is that they're facing for quite some time.
Yes.
So they have forgotten how to have fun and sometimes take on the thought that, fun days for them are over. That they can no longer bowl, they can no longer play horseshoes, they can no longer dance. And I always tell people, we meet you at your level of need. So yes, if you bowled once and you want to bowl today, you certainly can. We may have to help you a little bit, but we're going to make it happen for you, and you will have fun bowling again. It may be a little bit different than how you bowled in the past, but it will still be fun. And as I said earlier, we have entertainment that comes to the day center, and oftentimes our participants will get up and start dancing, and all of the staff will encourage participants to get up and dance. And I had a new participant starting, and I walked over to him and I said, "Sir, would you like to dance?" And he had his hat on and he had his oxygen on, and he just stood up and his oxygen bottle fell down, and he was so excited. And we got him back together, got the oxygen tank in a safe place. I got him on the dance floor dancing, and he was so excited. And after that dance, I just remember his very crisp blue eyes looking at me saying, "I haven't danced in 30 years. That was so much fun." And it just made me think about what an impact that we make on our participants' lives and how they still do have many days of fun left in them. And we at the Day Center try to show them that that's absolutely what they can do. They can continue to have fun. They can continue to be engaged. I really like what Amber was speaking to about I always talk about purposeful, meaningful activities that we try to give our participants, because often at home, they're no longer given tasks to do. it's certainly not like they once have. You know, maybe they were fixing things around the house all the time, and now they might not be able to do that as much as they once have. And so at the day center, we try to give them tasks to make them feel like they are needed, and not make them feel, they truly are. Our participants can truly help us in our day's tasks when they come in, and will help to perhaps set the table right before lunch or clean up the tables after lunch. And we always value their help that they provide for us.
And our company really focuses on person-centered care. So it's really about
Person-centered care.
person-centered care. And it's person-centered care is about understanding an individual, getting to know that individual, and helping them find meaning and purpose through things that maybe they once did in their life. It's very unique to every person. A good example I have of that is that we have a gentleman who used to work with the developmentally disabled, and so, you know, even though he has advanced dementia now, he comes in and he's just made such a connection with one of our developmentally disabled individuals, and he helps her with all kinds of tasks, and he finds purpose in that. He'll sit there and just do a puzzle with her, and even though he can't find her words, it just doesn't seem to matter. There's that relationship that has just formed between them. So part of his person-centered care and her person-centered care is allowing that one-on-one time where they can just be together. They don't necessarily have to be part of the group. But then the group in itself, not just the care our caregivers are providing, but they're providing care to each other in a sense, that companionship and the excitement they get when they're together. You know, when we do bowling, you know, we do a lot of Wii bowling on the video game, so we connect the generations that way. For those who physically can't bowl, and the video games that the younger population is interested in, and they'll just be cheering for each other and laughing when they have a strike. And I find that in many of our physical challenges that we have. Golf, we like to do golf at my center, and you can hear them, you know, from the other side of the building cheering when somebody gets a hole in one. It's really amazing atmosphere to be in, and see the relationships forming and how they support each other.
How large is your staff at Cottonwood?
We have a smaller staff at Cottonwood. We are still in the startup stages, so we have maybe about 15 participants a day, maybe a little less. We have 32 individuals on service. However, not everybody comes every day. It's really based on the fundings and, you know, the needs of the individual when they come. So for our staff, we have our activity director who's on full-time, and we also have 2 other full-time caregivers. For nursing staff, we have myself, but we also have a wellness nurse on staff part-time. We have a chef on staff. We have our receptionist, who is also a driver, and then we have 2 drivers on staff, and that's it.
It's a pretty large staff.
Yeah, it's a good number.
Yeah.
There's about 7 of us.
Yes.
Much smaller than I'm sure Laura's staff is.
Well, the Prescott Valley and the Prescott Day Center have been in operation far longer. Prescott has been in operation for over 30 years, and of course the one in Prescott Valley less than that, but approximately 11 years. So we've had time to grow our census. I'm sure Amber will get there shortly, but we serve approximately, our average census is about 40 participants per day. So we have the same type of staff. We have, I'm a nurse myself. I also have a wellness nurse. I have an activity director with 4 activity assistants. We do have a person that works in the kitchen. We have a part-time master level social worker on staff, and a team of drivers, as well as, and an administrative assistant. So we have quite a staff out there.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to speak to, and this could be a good time to do that, is our territories. So in Cottonwood, Amber, do you want to share with us the areas that you cover out in this area?
Absolutely. We serve the entire Verde Valley area and provide transportation. We can go up to Jerome, Clarkdale, Sedona, the Village of Oak Creek, Rimrock, Camp Verde, Cornville.
Wow.
And I think that covers, but everything in between if I'm missing a town in there.
Yes.
And as far as providing transportation, we do go out to all of those locations, but as our needs grow, we will grow and go out to each location more often. But for West Sedona, we go out there 3 times a week and provide transportation. The Village of Oak Creek, we go out 4 times a week. Rimrock, we can go every day to Rimrock. Camp Verde, we're out here 3 times a week. And of course, within Cottonwood every day, and Cornville every day as well. I don't have anybody from Clarkdale, and I don't have anybody from Jerome, but hopefully in the near future, as we continue to grow, we'll be able to go that direction and serve participants from there as well.
And then on the other side of the mountain in Prescott Valley, we serve from Cordis Junction, all of Prescott Valley, backside of Prescott Valley, and into Prescott. And then our Prescott Center serves all the way out to Paulden,
Oh.
and the rest of Prescott as well, and Chino Valley. So we have a large area that we cover, and at the Prescott Valley Center, we go to each one of those areas every day.
Every day.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, tell me about your funding.
Okay. As I spoke earlier, we are contracted with the Veterans Administration, with the Division of Developmental Disabilities, with the Arizona Long-Term Care System, and the Northern Arizona Council of Governments. And so each one of those agencies will fund their members to attend the program.
Okay.
For those people that do not fall because of those organizations,
Yes.
and do not qualify for funding through them, we look to our scholarship fund to offer some funding for them.
Okay.
Our scholarship funding is comprised of grants and donations. We do have a grant developer,
A fund developer.
who seeks out grants for us, and then we, with our private donations, we have fundraisers that we do. To talk about a fundraiser that we have coming up in Cottonwood, we are hosting Cottonwood Idol. It is a fundraiser that has been around for about 6 years, and the funds that come from that event used to go to a day center that existed in Sedona that's not there. And when they closed down and kind of merged with us, the funds then became available for our center, and
Yes.
all those funds go to scholarships for our participants. Cottonwood Idol, we just did our
Tryouts,
auditions.
auditions.
That's the word I'm looking for. This last month, and we have just over 20 people, I believe, who made it through to the next round.
Yeah.
Some very talented individuals, as well as my administrative assistant. Both of her daughters made it through to the next round.
Yeah.
So we're very excited and looking forward to that. The event will take place in January. It's the 3 Sundays, I believe the 11th, 18th, and 21st, although without the calendar I might be off on the days. But it's the 3 middle Sundays in January, and it will be at the Emmanuel Fellowship Church is where the competition will be held. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for children.
Uh-huh.
We will have condiments there, and it's really just all proceeds go to our scholarship fund.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. A lot of
Oh, my
information.
pleasure.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us, and this is another episode of Focus on Hope.